Welcome back to the Breakfast Brief, the show where I make food and talk about the news. Today, MAGA podcaster and former Trump advisor Steve Bannon is headed to prison, and before that, he conducted an interview with Alex Jones that went so terribly wrong. With that being said, let's get cracking. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. And if you're not, I'll do what I can to make it better. Today, we're talking about Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, an interview that they did together that went so off the rails and is indicative of the intentions of this MAGA movement. If Trump gets a second term, the sheer devastation that could come of that is re-emphasized by the conversation that goes on in this interview. Now, before getting to it, I know you're thinking, dang, that apron is just, I agree. Great work to team member Cole. Breakfast Brief apron, it's getting legit. With that being said, we can go ahead and start that first clip. We'll walk through a few different moments from this interview.
McCabe knows exactly the coup when Trump won in 2016. This was the whole Russiagate, the Russia hoax. They know exactly what they did, and they understand when we take back over the Justice Department and the FBI, we'll have all the records. They understand the crimes he understands how many years in prison he will have. That's why, and the people around him that signed the letter about the laptop from hell, they've all known all along they're breaking the law. They all know they're criminals. They all know that they've been involved in a coup to get the illegitimate Biden regime in to steal the vote in 2020. Don't look at me. Go back and look at the CNN clip where he's sitting there and the fear in his eyes and the hurt in his eyes. And Colin's asking specifically about himself. He goes, yes. And what they're talking about is leaving the country. And all I said, brother, you can leave. You can go anywhere you want. We have extradition treaties everywhere. You can go anywhere you want. The long arm of American justice is going to get you, collect you, and fetch you back here. You're going to be held.
So the ending part is when Alex Jones floats a theory. Bannon absolutely loves it, and it's just super deranged. So we'll get to that. But as a reminder, Steve Bannon is headed to prison. It's going to be a few months, but it's because he defied a congressional subpoena. And so it's one of these situations where the framing of this interview, sort of on his way to prison, however many days it is until he has to show up there, and he's doing a little tour around lots of interviews talking about, oh, I'm another political prisoner. It's me, the January 6th prisoners, and maybe soon Trump, and we're all such victims, when in reality, you got yourself into trouble. It happens. And if you believed in the law and order principles that you used to purport to, then you would understand. It wouldn't be great. You want to like it, please, but you'd understand the necessity of legal accountability. So that's the context of this, but you can play more.
Be held accountable. All of these guys, Comey, McCabe, Brennan, Clapper, all of them are being held accountable for what they've done, the treason that they've had against this country, and they understand. Why do you think they're worried? If they didn't do anything wrong, why would they possibly be worried? They understand their criminality, they understand their treason, and they also understand, Alex, they're not going to put you out of business. They're going to try. They're not going to prison. Sorry, I go to prison. Okay? The war room posse will step up like I know they're going to step up. The show will be bigger than ever. So they can't defeat us. They can't defeat Trump. They've tried. They've failed. We're coming back bigger than ever. And guess what? 5 November is Judgment Day, but January 2025 is Accountability Day. And they understand they got a lot to be accountable for.
All right, pause it. And right before getting to Alex Jones's insanity, again, this is as I'm missing something. I don't have can I use this? I don't think I'm supposed to. Can I use this? Let's say. I've seen you all in the comments. Don't think I haven't seen you criticizing my cooking. Luke, you're not supposed to put wood in a thing, or maybe you are, and then you'll make fun of me for thinking that maybe I wasn't supposed to. But ignore that. Focus on something important, which is what we're talking about here. Oh, by the way, okay, let me frame this properly. MAGA now blames everything on the deep state, right? Somehow Biden is pulling the string. Biden simultaneously has no idea where he is, completely clueless, and also is coordinating one of the greatest conspiracies to take down his political opponent in American history, and he's rigging the justice system such that, yes, Trump's being targeted according to them, but Biden's so powerful, he's also rigging it to put his son in prison to make it look like it's not rigged. and putting a Democratic senator in prison to make it look like it's not rigged so that you won't catch on to the fact that it actually is rigged. It'll operate as if it's not rigged to make you not realize that it is rigged. Crazy stuff, but that's the theory. And that then allows all accountability that they experience. Trump, he falsified business records, tried to cover up campaign finance violations because he was trying to cover up the fact that he had an affair with a porn star. He then is held legally accountable for that, and he blames the Biden administration, or he blames Democrats. He steals classified documents, refuses to get them back for a super long period of time. His house has to be raided to get them back. He blames Democrats. He blames the deep state. It's all a conspiracy to take him down. He tries to block the peaceful transfer of power, violates a bunch of laws allegedly throughout the process, goes outside of our legal process to challenge elections. He blames Democrats. So instead of, it's sort of a great argument stopper. It's dishonest. It's ridiculous. It's a weak argument. But you can end an argument by going, oh no, that's all coordinated by Biden and the deep state, instead of having any introspection or any regret about your wrongdoing and then having to be held accountable for it. So I'll say the deep state took my bacon that I was supposed to have. So I don't, it's not that I forgot to get bacon for this show. It's that it was stolen from me by crooked Joe Biden. So you can blame him. So I'll just be having eggs today. In case you just loved the crisp sizzle of bacon in the morning, I don't have that for you. Also, I'm sure some people are concerned with the repetitiveness of the meals. Just chill out, okay? A lot of balls are in the air. We're gonna figure this out. Maybe we'll advance to future things later. With that being said, play the next part of this.
We only have a few minutes left, but everything you're saying is completely dead on. There's a global realignment, not just here for populism and back to common sense Christianity and nationalism and free market capitalism. But the reason they're so desperate to get you off the board and get me off the board and a bunch of others is they're planning something big. So let's war game that briefly. What are they getting ready to pull? Some false flag racial attacks, George Floyd 2.0, a market crash, God forbid, a Trump assassination.
All of it. You should be, you should be prepared. I say the lawfare, the steal, and then wag the dog. Those are the three big headings. But listen, they understand they can't turn over this government to Trump and MAGA. They can't do it because they will spend decades in prison, or they will leave the country and hide out in some third world nation.
Which they're now saying, let me interrupt. They're literally saying that the former director of the FBI, we're getting ready to leave the country. And he looks completely scared because he knows the crimes they committed.
Okay. You can stop. So, oh my gosh. These people that we're listening to here, Bannon and Alex Jones, are not okay, well, functioning adults. And it's crazy to think that publicly they would say this stuff. So, first of all, I forgot to respond to you because I got distracted by just a lot of things are happening. I just know something about this wood thing is going to cause a debacle, and then, oh, that's going to be the focus, and Luke used the wood thing, or he thought he wasn't supposed to. But so now we have the plastic one, okay? Forget that ever happened. Second thing is our conversation about the bacon. So that distracted me from a point that I want to make, which was Bannon said they know they could never beat Trump. But they did, Steve. Biden cleaned his clock in 2020. So presumably it's possible to do it again, no? And also, Bannon would say, well, that's because it was all rigged. It was the greatest stealing of an election. So great, so effective that they're so good at hiding the evidence. We hear this sometimes. Oh yeah, the lack of evidence is proof of the criminality because good criminals hide their evidence. So see, it all makes sense. But no evidence of this. But again, he would say the election was stolen. But then his whole message lately is, War Room Podcast Posse, keep watching my podcast because this year is going to be triumphant and we're going to get to go and we're going to get to lock up all of our enemies and it's going to be great. But I say again, even if I assume for some reason that Alex Jones is rational, that Steve Bannon's rationale, and I just blindly trust their election conspiracy theories. If they were able to steal the election when Trump was president, when he was the most powerful person in the world, wouldn't that powerful cabal of people be able to do it even easier now that Biden's the president? I just really want to get an answer on that, but somehow they're gonna stop the steal this time by voting in just such large numbers. So even that part of it isn't consistent. But if you missed what was said, just the absolutely unhinged, brain leaking out of the ears conspiracy theory is that false flag operations are probably going to happen to, I don't know, something to help Biden win the election. But a couple things. First of all, ridiculous. And when that doesn't happen, they won't apologize. We heard Donald Trump Jr., for example, say that he believes it's more likely that the election won't happen because Biden will find some justification to call it off or something. We don't even know the logistics of that. But we are hearing them say the election might not. So it just really bothers me because when I've made a prediction and it didn't come true, it really made me feel bad and I wanted to sort of work through it and talk it out. I guess it's tough to compare those since all my predictions have become true, so it's a little different now. Genuinely, you feel weird and icky. Do they not feel that when they make these bold predictions they don't come true at all? No introspection. When the election obviously happens, they won't have any introspection there. But, no, so the number one is that that's insane. The number two is Alex Jones right now. The thing he's saying is an example of them coming after him because they want to silence the truth. Alex Jones has had decades to tell the truth, and now's the time they have to silence him. Again, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but what he means by that is he's having to liquidate his assets to pay a lawful judgment based on a trial that he got in front of a jury of his peers. It was a civil trial based on the defamation suit brought by families, parents of the children who were murdered at the Sandy Hook shooting. So he, again, is being held accountable, had his due process, etc. And now he owes money. And he's framing the money he owes as the deep state trying to take him down when it's family members of kids who were slaughtered asking for their money. Family members who he attempted to destroy the lives of for a period of time there. And so then for him to, with that understanding, the big news right now that he's having to liquidate his assets, what was the conspiracy theory? The Sandy Hook was a false flag operation. That now he has the gall to already be preemptively pushing, which he's pushing up a gazillion things, so it's not shocking, but false flag operations about this upcoming election. Stop it with the false flag operations, Alex, okay? It's gotten you into a ton of trouble already. Cut it out, because clearly you're not good at predicting or understanding situations as false flag operations. So that would be my other point there. So all I have today is eggs. Crazy stuff there from Bannon, headed to prison. Alex Jones's situation's falling apart there. And do I have another fork? I don't. So you're gonna watch me, all right? Today was a utensil up in the air type of day. I'm gonna eat this egg with a spoon. It's okay. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you. Well, that looks kind of hot. Temperature hot. I'll talk to you on Monday.